Hi, I'm Steve with CoverGuard. We have created an adjustable line set cover system that basically solves a lot of the problems the existing cover systems have in the market today. These are some of the products you might have seen before. They're beautiful when they're up on the wall, but I say they're kind of like a flip phone in technology because they're a little bit outdated. They all have a single tab on each of their sides. It makes sense, sounds like it would work great. You put it together, snap it in place, sounds great. But because a single tab system, it makes you have to have small, medium, and large ducts, like I have here. So here's the large, medium, and small. That's frustrating because that's a lot of inventory dollars that you're going to need to take care of. What we have found with the old technology is when a contractor is placing this on a wall, think of it in a 6-foot stick, when they push to fasten this on, it implodes. And they all do that because they have a single tab. Now I'm just going to move these out of the way. Here, same thing. So that's pretty frustrating to a contractor when they're 6 to 10 foot up on a ladder, it's cold or it's really hot, they're sweaty, they want to go home, that's the last thing they do in the day. The other issue is all of these come out of the box naked. In other words, they're exposed to whatever they touch. Dirty hands, greasy hands, your truck is dirty because it hauled yesterday's job away. Well, as they bounce around in a van or any type of truck, they get dirty. And when you go to handle this at the end of the day, you're the dirtiest you will ever be on the job site because you've worked all day long. So they get very dirty. Another issue is as the country starts to embrace more multi-zone systems, I'm sure you've installed a 2, 3, or 4-zone system. The more line sets that you place inside, they put pressure and they pop right open. So the amount of stress that goes on there, they just pop open. That's frustrating because then somebody has to really kind of hold it together, force it on so that the couplings or the fittings go around it to hold it in place. That's another problem. So we have too many sizes, they implode, they get dirty, they pop open with too much, and they have a flat finish. All of these are flat finished products. Flat means the pores are actually open cells, and when they do get dirty, just like flat paint, they're harder to clean. So let's move this off to the side. And what we did at CoverGuard is try to fix all of these issues that a contractor has. CoverGuard is twice, some of them they're more than twice, the thickness of the other brands in the marketplace. We put tabs, ribs on the side of the walls. It acts like a zip tie. You'll see that in a minute. The base has flared tabs, so technically the more you put in it stretches outward, which goes into the wall and holds it in place better. We've installed clips inside the rails. They're already in place. They slide up and down the channel. So when your line sets come out of the box, spooled, they've got copper in them. They're doing this up the wall. Well, if you have a hump like that, you just take the clip, slide it to where you want it to go, and pull down with a zip tie all of your line sets. So let's do an example. So, smallest job you will ever have as a contractor is, let's say, a single zone system. So we have our water line here, line set, let's throw some electric in, doesn't take any space. All you do with CoverGuard, set it on here, snap it down. I can push and push, it does not implode like everybody else's. Now all your greasy hands, your dirty truck have rubbed all over this. With CoverGuard, we have a film. We have a film put on this. You just peel that film back and it's perfectly clean. You'll notice that's shiny. It's like an oil-based paint. It's much, the cells are closed. So if it does get dirty, very easy to clean. Let's just say the next day, next week, some other time, you've got a lot more to install. Here's 3 more zones or 3 more line sets. So now we're up to 4 total in cover guard. With cover guard, you can just put this on here, snap it in place, and you heard the click, and this holds it all in place. And because the walls are I call it like a zip tie, I can actually push on this and make it even tighter. Technically, you don't need to make it that tight, but it just shows you that this system holds just about everything you'd ever want in an installation. Let's say now your job is now completed. You come back and one of these zones is really far into the building that you just did an install. It's got a unit up on the wall, but it's having trouble getting the water to drain properly because it's such a long run and you can't get a good fall on it. So you need to put a pump in. Well, all the other brands, well, not all of them, but they sell every size pump, big, little. You got to put it in the corner. And they make good pumps, but wouldn't it be nice to be able to put the pump wherever you want the pump to go? With cover guard, I'm going to get a pump. This is a big one, and most pumps are a lot smaller than this. With cover guard, release it. Let's put a pump in here. It can go anywhere you want it to go. Put this back on. You just put a pump in. Let me show you how our adjustable fittings all work. So if you've got a job, you snap this down, and our fittings, you're not going to be able to probably see this on camera, but inside here we use, it's flat on 2 sides and it's rounded on 2 sides, and that allows our very unique, we call this the cam screw. This is made with fiberglass. It has glass in it and PVC. So this actually becomes very hard, kind of like the casing of a DeWalt drill. And all of the fittings and the channels are made of PVC, which is typically softer. Up at the tip of our cam screw, we've got little teats, and they act as a stopping mechanism. Flat head, so this will never rust. All the other brands, they say stainless steel. There's about 5% stainless in it, the rest is iron. So over time, they do in fact rust. Not a big deal, but it does get a little bit ugly. The other issue we found is with all the fittings on the marketplace, we call it the old technology, when a Phillips head and a guy that's busy uses a power drill, they over torque them and they don't even know it. And when you over torque any kind of plastic, it can crack on the inside. Installation looks beautiful, they leave. A few months later, you've got the expansion and contraction with really cold weather, really hot weather, back and forth, and there's pressure from the ducts on the competitive products against the fittings to hold it in place. What do? They pop off. Not all the time, but it happens. So we've just said, hey, we don't want that to happen. We want your job to be done right, and you're on your way. So let's just go through the scenario. This would be the backside here, and with our fittings, they would set on here, and you can see how it could be really high if my duct was high, or it just slides down like that. We take our cam screw, it drops in nice and easy. Got another one over here. You drop it in with one screwdriver. You just click it in place, and the walls get bit by the cam screw. Locks in place, so the fittings hold themselves together and the duct holds itself together. Quick and easy. Peel your film off, you're good to go. You need to get back inside. Sometimes you can hear the click. Whoa. Nope, it didn't click. It's kind of hard. Slide back up like this, and you're back in your system. With our wall inlet, we added a little bit longer and wider arc so that your line sets, when they go in to penetrate the building through the backside, they have more of a sweep. Contractors really appreciate that, so they don't have any kinking. We also added a punch out in the back, so if you need to punch this out, you can, because ours fits more line sets than anybody else's in the market, and that way if you need to make it bigger, you can. So just like everything else, the inlet would set here just like this, and then this could be high. If it was up high, you can see I've got probably another 1.5 inch expansion there. If this duct was all the way up, just push it all the way down till it fits, and then you would just drop in your cam screws and fasten it down. So the wall inlet is a nice feature because it's got a larger radius. One other feature we did is, we know that the technology in the country is getting a lot better, and people that, especially that are doing a very specific project, restoration of an old home, museum, or even somebody just got a lot of money and they want to put anything they want on their channels, we've got the capability at our factory to do wraps. And we can do just about any type of, basically, if you take a picture of anything digitally, give us a really high resolution, and we can have this wrapped. This is a wrap just like a shotgun has a camouflage wrap. We can do these. Here's 2 examples. It's beautiful. When you're bidding on a really high-end, expensive job, and you can show your customer that if they can take a picture of it and it's a high resolution, we can wrap your entire duct system. It's one thing for me to sit at a desk and show a video like this, and that's all great because you can watch it and learn a lot about how the product works. But let's say you're either at the counter and you don't have these parts, or you're an outside sales, part of the outside sales teams. When you become a distributor for CoverGuard, we provide some plastic board with a nice print on it. On the back side, it's got all the fittings displayed in a nice photo, so you get the chance to walk in to any contractor, his office, or go to the job sites. It works fantastic. And everything I just showed is right here on a little demo kit. So you can open this up and say, Joe, come over here, and show him real quick. Put 2 zones in, take here, snap it all the way down. Joe, look how that works. Peel the film back like that. He'll get so excited to see that. Then you can pop it back open and say, Joe, bigger jobs and are going to come up, and you're going to want to put more in there. You can put more in there and snap it down right at the job site or at his office. And if you happen to have a pump, bring a pump with you, whatever brand you're selling. Put the pump in there. After you do this, pop it back open. They love that. This little demo kit will sell so many covers.